Greetings fellow ukuleleans, Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new tutorial. I'd like to go back to a book that I wrote a few years back called Fingerstyle Etudes for Ukulele, and it has 10 of them, and this is number 3. This is the third one in the book, and I really wrote this one to help people with pull-offs. It has a couple of hammer-ons in it too, but it's mostly pull-offs. And a pull-off is simply when you play a note on a fret, and you take your finger and you just pluck the string by pulling your finger off of that note. And that, in this case, plucks an open string. So here I'm going to give you a little chance to practice that. We are going to take the 3rd fret of our A string, fingered with our ring finger, our 3rd finger. You play it as normal, you pluck it, but then to make the next sound, the open A string, you have to pull your finger sort of out and away from the ukulele like that to re-pluck the string with your left hand. It's kind of down towards the floor too, but you don't want to go too far down towards the floor because on other strings you would get some unwanted noises and catch some unnecessary strings. So don't get too much in the habit of pulling down towards the floor like that, but a little bit more up and away so that it's clean. It sounds as loud as a picked note. So pull-offs will take some practice, but this etude was written with that in mind to help people with their pull-offs. Has a very specific picking pattern. On a C chord, we're going G with our thumb, C with our index, E with our middle, and A with our ring. And then the next note is pulled off, so it's not picked with the right hand at all. Like that. We follow that up with a couple more picked notes. And that was the E string, the C string, and the E string again. So the entire pattern, 4 times in a row, goes. And by the way, I didn't play the whole etude. I only actually played the first let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures repeated. So I did 16 measures. There's a second page to it too. But I want to keep this short. I have talked about this book in the past. I had an older YouTube channel that now is kaput. It's no longer in up on YouTube. But I did every single one of my 10 fingerstyle etudes and did a tutorial for them. Those no longer are on the internet, but here's the book. You can get it on Amazon. I'll definitely leave a link down below. And it's a book I'm still proud of, even though it was a while back. And I've written another book subsequently. It's still a book that I use with my students, and I really find it helps with our fingerstyle playing. I tried to make these enjoyable to listen to, tried to make them fun to play, and in some cases, towards the end of the book, a little challenging. But this one's not too bad. It's, you know, everyone knows a C chord. You just have to learn about pull-offs. And getting a good, you know, right-hand technique on. So a lot of different ways you could pick this. I don't want to go too far into it because we could be here for an hour. But just very quickly, a couple ways to pick it would be, you could get the sweetest possible sound. That would be right over the neck, dolce. That's a real different sound than like right over your sound hole, which is kind of a medium sound, neutral sound. Nice and clear. But then if you want very bright and plucky, which I do believe that's kind of how I played it in the intro, I played it more down here, ponticello, which is close to the bridge, ponticello. Very bright, and it really brings out the treble of the instrument. Not the mids and the bass, but the high end, the treble. If you have fingernails going, then between your fingernails and playing ponticello really makes it snappy and bright, catches people's attention. But if you want it to be sweeter and mellower, yeah, more over the neck. It can actually sound pretty nice there too. I sort of intended it to be either over the sound hole or towards the bridge, but that's up to you. These are etudes that I wrote, but I didn't give a lot of very specific instructions. I only gave like a suggested tempo, in this case 123 beats a minute. Sometimes I will specify that I want certain things to be repeated, or do a retardando, you know, gradually slow down at the end, but I didn't give specific instructions about you know, where you should play it and all of that. That's up to you. I like to leave these a little bit open for you to make your own. So we had that C chord. Next chord is F. Everyone knows an F chord, but this is a pinky F. This is F with your pinky added to the A string's 3rd fret. So it goes 2, 0, 1, 3. Fingers 2, 1, and 4. Great F chord. But that goes. See that? How the pinky is doing the pull off from the 3rd fret A string to the open A string. G7 we do the same lick. Except this time it's your 3rd finger pulling off from the 2nd fret of the A string to the open A string. Not all the pull-offs, by the way, are going to be on the A string. Later on in the Etude, I do some pull-offs on the C string, but we won't do that in this particular tutorial. We're just going to cover the first 8 measures of my Etude, and then if you really want, I can do more of these tutorials if you want me to go further. But I do highly suggest that you get the book. It'll really make itself explained. It's very self-explanatory. So we got our G7 chord, and then it just simply goes back to C. There you go, perfectly respectable 8 bars. And then if you repeat that, you get 16 bars. So and then if you repeated that, you would have twice as much. So this is really intended to help you with your pull-offs, and the main goal as a teacher, as an author of method, I'm trying to get people to get their pull-offs so that they have an even sound and they don't sound that too terribly different in volume and tone from their plucked notes. So anything you do with your left hand should be about equivalent to what you would do in your right hand. So you get an even sound. That's the word, I guess, that would sum it all up, is go for an even sound. Alright, ukulele people, hope you enjoyed that very quick tutorial on one of my etudes, number 9 in C from my book. And I will put a link below so you can check it out. You can look at a sample page if you want before buying, just to make sure it's for you. But I highly suggest it. Alright, ukulele people, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, and be sure to click that notify bell. And visit me over on Patreon where you get all kinds of stuff, free goodies, paid goodies, all kinds of goodies. Alright, take care, uke people. Bye-bye.